we'll do an overview of last night's forum. It was held at Hanwell Place. We had, I think, what, 13 people in attendance and four RCMP officers. It was Superintendent Leclerc with three other officers. They put on a very interesting presentation, to say the least, and they were certainly open to all kinds of questions and conversations during and after the meeting.
I thought it went very well, Mr. Chair. It and I think it's telling that we've been so consistent in the priorities. It would indicate to me that we've gotten it right. Just the stability, and we don't seem to be changing. It seems to be working well, and I think they did a great job last evening.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're certainly, a good group of presenters. The two newer guys could learn to speak a little louder. That'd be about it. It's often
Yeah,
hard hearing them.
yeah, yeah. They did well. One thing I noticed, Mr. Chair, was that I know we've been we typically invite the same members for the forum every time. On the priority setting, though, it may be worthwhile to extend that out to all of our directors at the Service Commission. I just to ensure that they're there. I think back a few years ago, and it we seem to have slightly higher attendance. Now, maybe that could be an indication that people, a lot of times people show up to complain about something and
Right.
not show up to praise. And so maybe that's just a reflection of the good job that the RCMP has been doing recently. But, at the committee's discretion, we certainly could extend the invitations to the mayors as well directly. And if they choose to attend, they can attend. And if not, that's fine too. But that would be up to the committee. But we'd certainly take that direction if it was given.
Certainly something to consider for sure.
Yeah.
Because we had some mayors and councillors there last night from the surrounding communities. There was only one public person in attendance. That's just a buddy of mine I was telling about. He said he might drop back, and he did. So he's former RCMP. He keeps in touch with them, likes to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed since a couple of years ago, he had a little bit more drive of maybe telling us what he would like to accomplish and what he has accomplished. And I'm scared that he's lost his drive, but it seems like he didn't tell us maybe the next steps are coming for the future. I know that they got a big influence of money for officers, which helped them a lot, but I was wondering what maybe if they had a next goal or what their next. I know they want more more officers, but I'm not sure if they're going to get more officers, or they got the officers last year and they're not going to get any more officers for another 5 years. Or you guys know how that works?
I know they put more focus on the border, so that's taken
Yes, that's true.
officers in general. So that
I
change in
guess that was a
circumstance,
big one.
that may give them a few more officers for the province. And we've got not a big presence on the border in the RSC 11, but the surrounding RSCs do.
Yeah, but nothing to make anything stronger than like I know Minto was there, Natwick was there, and they built it back up, but maybe to make it stronger. That I don't know. I don't know. I just thought he had more pizzazz than the first meeting. I know he's been in the position for a while now, and he's done an excellent job. I just didn't see any what's coming in the future.
And
They just don't tell us so.
through you, Mr. Chair, I think Andrew, they're also still, the RCMP had indicated last night that they're still in the process of filling some positions. They're actively trying to recruit individuals,
Okay.
and I knew that, I know they were given the authorization to expand the ranks last year. But obviously, that's the kind of thing that it'll take some time as well, right? So, I mean, it may be a question that they're in the process of completing that step now. We've already seen an initial improvement, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they may want to complete that and then start thinking about what's next. But I noticed the same. And but the impression that I got was that they're currently staffing up. They're continuing on that path.
Yeah, anybody notice anything else? Coffee and donuts were good. Thanks, Kelly.
I like the new guy. I think this was it Kelly. Is that his name? The
Which
guy that
one?
had the body camera on.
Yeah,
Sampson,
yeah, the big guy there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luke.
he sounds
Luke
like he's got a
Sampson.
good spirit,
Yeah.
and I like the ideas of them having a camera too for their safety. Probably very expensive, but
Believe he indicated that there was it was being rolled out. This is one of the first jurisdictions where it was being
yeah,
rolled out as well. And that was nice to hear.
yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, all the police forces seem to have body cameras, both for their own protection and certainly their use in court or whatnot. So okay,
Other
if
than
nothing
that,
else
I
on
really sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say if nothing else on the overview, we'll move on to the kind of this is what we've been having anyway, a general discussion. But if we have any direction to staff, if anything we want to do differently in public safety, not just about the forum last night, but additional things that we should consider as a committee.
Yes. Mayor, what about what about inviting public safety? Are they even now that Chris Austin's kind of pushed back, or is it still the justice public safety? He was revamping. I went to the Crown, I think last year, and they had a couple hundred people there for his rally. I kind of haven't heard anything in the last 6 months of his push. I know he's not in power now, but have you guys heard anything about public safety or like?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think we do have a scheduled meeting forum event with public safety, I believe in October. And so that's going to be an opportunity so that's really only 2 meetings out because we're breaking over summer. Next one is NB Power. Following that will be public safety, and that'll be an opportunity for them to give us an update on their priorities with the new government, if those have changed, as far as their roles, and it'll be a good chance to have a Q&A with them. So yeah, we've got that on the agenda, Andrew.
Okay, thank you. Because I do see those guys around Pennack a little bit, going on the trails up here at the store, trying to stop drinking and driving. And I think they're doing, they're exchanging prisoners here at the store. They're coming in from somewhere and they're meeting and just doing the switch off. So
Yeah, so that's
be
usually
interesting to see what their roles are.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan last night, and he didn't have any news, or he didn't advise me of any big changes coming down the pipe or anything like that. So
I think it may be business as usual, but it'll be a good chance to check back in with them again. They've got a massive scope of responsibilities. If you remember their presentation last year, so yeah, it'll be a good chance to interact with them and ask any of those questions in the fall, Andrew.
Okay, thank you.
I wonder if sometimes it wouldn't be nice to have almost the two groups together, like RCMP and public safety, almost in the same room. Like even last night, there's certain things like, well, public safety can help with that. Well, be easier to just turn around and say, okay, what is it that, as municipalities are supposed to be, like I'm thinking of Harvey, for instance, of traffic. Well, if public safety can help slow down traffic and take that resource from the RCMP from having to do that, it's just easier if you're sitting down in one meeting to know kind of what the boundary is from each group. And I understand that both sides have a purpose, in the practice that they do, but I find sometimes if they're in the same room, and whether or not it's a priority session or whatever, but just an open forum of saying, what is it that you do? What is it that we can, is the mayor supposed to reach out to you for this, or is this a police matter? Because it just seems like when you go to these sessions, they're always indicating what the other group is able to do or can help out with, or they can contact. So it's just.
Uh,
I don't know.
well, I can speak to that, Mr. Chair. If I see some value in that, and that's kind of in line with the approach that we've tried to take, right? I mean, so we typically, I know Andrew, you're with Ambulance New Brunswick, but we extend an invitation to Ambulance New Brunswick for the meetings. EMO has representation, which of course is part of public safety, but then we have Dan with public safety also there. Kelly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we could include an invitation for the next session with public safety. We could reach out to Annie and see if there'd be a representative that may be interested from the RCMP in attending that. That would be a relatively easy thing to do, and that would accomplish that goal, I think, Andrew.
Yeah, I never want to like, and it's great to have all the other groups there. It's just that when you're doing the priorities of a specific group, it feels like you want all your questions directed to them and not, we're here to hear the RCMP or priorities, and then we don't want to turn around to public safety and say, well, what do you, what do you think about this? Or what do you don't want to overtake a meeting, but it's just like, if it's that type of forum that's open for discussion with all the public safety media groups in the same facility.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think there might be some benefit to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just a regular meeting where they put on the first, second, third quarter, whatever.
Hmm.
Their priorities session, I'd keep that totally RCMP.
Yeah. But I just find I think there'd be a benefit if you have, and which we do, we have more than one group attending those priority sessions. It's just, we're always pushing our questions to one specific group. And if there's something else another group like public safety is able to help out with, then maybe they can answer them those questions. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how public safety, with their doing their road work, how the RCMP perceive that or not. I don't know if it's, there's a little bit of a conflict there, taking over territory or that type of thing.
And that's what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear
A
you.
lot-
I hear you there too. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the members like highway enforcement, and some would want nothing to do with it. So I guess it depends on the individual preferences of the member itself. Yeah, things seem to be doing well with staff. I don't have any other preferences in what we've been doing along. Anytime if we want to bring a group in, they always manage to get us set up, and there's no issues that way. So I think, continue with what we're doing, and we have a great relationship, and we keep on moving forward.
And well, the only thing I'd add to that, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate the compliment. And Kelly deserves a lot of credit for organizing these things. But if there is any other input or anything else comes to mind, any new ideas, feel free to reach out to us. And obviously, we'll keep you in the loop, Mr. Chair, if any of the other members contact us about additions or thoughts that they've had, and we can certainly act on those, even if we're not in a meeting. We're trying to be responsive.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Chair, for being the host last night. You have a beautiful building there.
Yeah, it's always a good spot to have a meeting. I like it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Nice and handy. But we certainly have the facilities to have a good meeting. I know the RCMP there, anybody that does a presentation, they like the ease of how they can hook their computers up to the system, the drop down screen and whatnot. Everything works pretty darn good.
Yes. No echo either in there or anything like that.
No, we've got
Oh, sounds
about
good.
probably 300 sound barriers. You might have noticed them hanging around the walls there, those big gray, they're like a 3 by 16-inch foam,
I'll come to you for plans if we ever build our rural community office.
Yeah, because when we first had that, I mean, you couldn't hear somebody 20 feet away because it'd just be so echoey. But
Right.
the sound insulation really took care of that. Okay, any other comments, questions? Anything else we want to discuss? Hey, all is good. We got another meeting coming up at 2 this afternoon, Kelly? So we'll just run from one meeting to the next. Seems to
Just
be the
enough time for
world.
supper. Or for dinner. Yeah.
All right, okay, thanks everybody for attending, I appreciate everybody, and call for an adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion it.
All righty, meeting adjourned at 12:16. Well, thanks, guys. We'll have another one coming up. It'll seem like a short period of time. These things seem to,
Okay.
time's moving really fast.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks.
Bye,
thanks, guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,